Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
Too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
He knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time, so I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
A venue that has stayed home here in Saturday Night Racing League. It's been revamped and brought back to the Cup Series. But live here tonight, the top 10 locked in. Last race of the regular season. Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors is live in racing at CHICAGOLAND Speedway. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, alongside Connor Horn all season long. I've only had one race missed here, and I'm going to unfortunately miss the season finale, but I won't miss this finale. This is the one that decides our top 14 in points, Connor, and what a better place to do it.
Yeah, it's a fun one for sure. It's a track that's seen wild finishes. Jacob Bradley, Joseph McWhorter battle to the end of the final lap, the final corner. They wreck. Ray Massey ends up winning. It's seen some great racing over the years in the real world and in the virtual world. It's only been virtual the past 7 years, but in the real world, we're finally coming back in a few weeks of this track. Very excited for it. Wish I could go. It should be a very fun one, and it is updated. That's the best thing about it. This track finally got an update. It looks so much worse than it does now. It looks great. Victory lane, a little blocky, but hey, we don't judge, we don't care. It's just going to be a fun race. We've had great races here. We've come here every single season. We only have one multi-time winner here, so it's going to be a good one. Point standings not very close at the cut line. Chuck Sweeting, I believe, is plus 32, and Bryce Shoemaker is minus 32. But Chuck Sweeting, he should be safe, but you never know what could happen. If Bryce Shoemaker could get a victory and Chuck Sweeting doesn't have a great finish, that could flip the script right there. Max Cost, also still has an outside chance of making it in. Very outside chance. Everyone else behind cost cannot mathematically get in. So Lakatos, Carwile, Hodges, obviously Adam Cabot, who's on limited starts. If he made all the starts, he'd easily be in. He's back tonight. We'll see what he can do. Maybe get his first win. Also, Caleb Weekly. He's good on the cut line after leading the points earlier this year. And you could see on the left side the top 10 drivers who are locked in on points. The regular season title still to be determined, though, even though that got widened after Stravato's crash. He's 23 points behind. Stravato's 23 points ahead of Bailey Turner, but Turner did catch up.
That's Celeb Weekly. That's what I was going for, the magazine, right?
Close enough.
So, if you look at here, all the typos aside, I rushed the points together. I did a lot of things, but what we're not going to rush is 140 laps here at this racetrack. I've heard that it's very tight around here since the update. I know that this is going to be a difficult place to race at. It looks like it's going to be bottom line dominant, at least for the first third of this race. Maybe the outside will come into play. But we're not going to see what we saw the last time we were here, where everyone was strung out all over the racetrack. It almost looked like a miniature Michigan.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of drivers try the top early, and it's probably not going to work until later in the race. You really need to have multiple heat cycles, multiple pit stops, a lot of rubber built onto the track, and then that outside lane, I think it'll come in a little bit. It seems like when everyone's pushing 110%, you can use that outside lane to get a good run down the front and the back. But this track is like a cheese grater for tires. Very old surface. They haven't repaved it since they last came here 7 years ago after it opened in 2001. I don't believe they've ever repaved it, actually. I don't know if they ever repaved it after 2001 they built it. So very old surface. It's almost going to probably be like Atlanta when they get there in the real world. Cheese grater for tires. I think drivers got to be aware that the right front tires, they might be in trouble today. So you might have to make an extra pit stop. We'll see how the fall off is.
With that, though, it's time to take you trackside. Get the grid up on the screen, starting on the pole with a 31.278. It's almost a full tenth faster than J.R. Shepherd. Jeff Wright will start on the top spot. No surprise here. Always fast at Chicagoland. Row number 2 is going to belong to Philip Brewer with Casey Lakatos starting in 4th spot. You have Chad Klinger and Seth Hatchell for the row number 3. Bailey Turner and Kenny Kibbe 7th and 8th. Then you have Dakota Floyd and Christopher Hodges starting 9th and 10th. Your top 10 there with the 15.
Bryce Shoemaker, he needs a lot to go his way. He probably needs a top 3, maybe a win, and he needs Chuck Sweeting to have a very bad day to get into the chase. He'll start 11th in hopes of that. Joshua Banks, who's, I believe, our defending winner here from Season 5, led 75 laps last season in the Gen 4 car. He will start 11th in the O'Reilly car. He started 12th in the O'Reilly car this season. Angelo Horonis, very fast at the beginning of Richmond, did not get nearly as good of a finish. He'll start 13th. Justin Ritchie will start in 14th, safe to the cut line. By enough, I would say. Max Cost, outside chance. He starts 15th. He needs to win, and everyone has to have problems for him to get in. Matt Shanowski back there starting in 16th. The 17 will start 17th. Adam Cabot returns. I believe his 10th start of the season. He'll have work to do from 17th. And Chuck Sweeting in 75. He just needs a clean race, and he will be racing for a championship. Cabot and Sweeting 17th and 18th, row number 9. And Brian Chambliss, who has won on fuel mileage at Atlanta before, never a winner at Chicagoland. He'll start back in 19th. And Elliott Butler, who had a strong podium finish last week. I believe finished in 3rd place. Good run for him. He'll try to back that up, but he'll be starting back in 20th.
21st going to go to Noah Mahalski. John Sanu will start in 22nd position. 23rd to Reggie Ortega. Lights are out on the pace car with Ben Lafter in 24th. 29 cars on the racetrack. Keith Shoemaker, the last to take a time. Stephen Davis going to start in 26th. Roderick Glavick, Brandon Wallace, 27th and 28th. And the last car on the racetrack is Austin Belke in 29th. Well, I got to say, I'm disappointed. I tried the pre-race manipulation of the statistics. I talked to Kenny Kibbe, told him not to qualify. Austin Belke was my pick. I changed it to that, then I changed it to Kibbe. I don't know. Who do you got winning here tonight?
I think it's going to be hard to beat Jeff Wright. Being from pole, he's going to have clean air. Going to be hard to beat him. I definitely think my sleeper pick, it's weird because he's starting 2nd, but J.R. Shepherd has a sleeper pick. A lot of fast drivers, but I think he's finally going to get that win. He's going to at least fight for the 48 tonight.
Pace cars off. Let's find out. 140 laps, 6 tire sets available, 3 green-white checkers, 100% fuel, live and racing at Chicagoland. It's Saturday Night Racing League. lap number 1 will be Jeff Wright. As you mentioned, Connor, statistically, Jeff Wright is fantastic at this place. I don't see anybody contesting him, especially with a bottom line dominant track, at least for the first half of this race.
Going to make it tough. If you're going to pass Jeff Wright, you got to do a short run, but he makes it very hard to do. He knows when to not push to save his tires, but he knows when to push to keep the lead, keep the clean air. But it's really hard to plant that bottom line with someone on your bumper getting you loose. He drove pretty hard out of turn 4. See some drivers using the apron on the front straightaway. You can do that, but it might wear your tires out even more than it already would at this racetrack. You saw Kibbe was the only one to really do it. Tracks like Kansas, Kentucky, it won't really wear your stuff out. It will wear your stuff out big time here, as trying to get single file in the top 5, but Lakatos, Hatchell, Bailey Turner, they're all battling as go down the back stretch. Not really back straightaway, it's a stretch, not fully straight. One of the quirks of this racetrack is another quirk of this racetrack. You still do have some multi-groove racing. That top side will be utilized at some point, I think, even though it might take a while for it to come in and be fast.
Back end of Chris Hodges just in front of Bryce Shoemaker. You mentioned Shoemaker needs to have a good race, but he also needs the 75 of Chuck Sweeting to have a bad one. He's got about 50-50 here. He needs to get to the top 3, Sweeting outside the top 20. But Shoemaker started up a spot ahead of where he is. He's got to maintain and then gain.
Just think what could have been last week. He was battling for the win, then missed turn 3 on a restart at Richmond after all the drama that happened there. He was unfortunately part of it because he missed turn 3. It could have been a win for him. Was not the case, but still great points. Give him at least a little bit of a chance this week, but like you said, he needs a lot to go his way, and he's got to make quick work and not wear his tires out doing it. Very easy to drive through this field and wear your stuff out, then go right back where you came from. Got to be careful not to do that if you're Joshua Banks or Bryce Shoemaker, even Dakota Floyd back there, the 29 of Hronis back there. So easy to wear his stuff out. I predict, my guess is we're going to see probably 2 seconds of fall off before we get to green flag pit stops, which would be probably around lap 45-50, as Shepard had a wiggle out of 4, as a lot of drivers wiggling out of the corners here.
Yeah, Noah Mahalski almost got to his teammate Max Cost, who also needs to have a perfect day. We're looking 4 wide, so it is a little racy up on the higher side of this racetrack. Mahalski gets contact. That's close.
Oh, we had almost crashed for second. Philip Brewer and Seth Hatchell had contact, and Hatchell was going for second. Now he's back to 7th.
Missed that one on the replay. We'll back it up here. So
I thought they were going to pile up. We saw that last week with Stravato and Shepard. Whoa, man. Hatchell did a smart thing just lifting out of it right there. That could have been at least half a dozen cars. He was pushing really hard, getting his middle line going, got the Brewers right rear. Brewer tried to chase it up the racetrack and just wasn't enough room given the V8 car there. But Hatchell did a great job backing out and just living to see another lap.
Jeff Wright maintains the lead. Philip Brewer up to 2nd. Shepard falls back to 3rd. Adam Cabot has gained 13 positions already. Look at the 17 on the move.
Talked about wanting to save tires, not burning them up. Well, he doesn't care. Hey, he's just trying to get to the front as quickly as possible and then go from there. So that's exactly what he's going to do. Get to the top 3 before we even made 10 laps right now as we work the 8th lap of this race. As Jeff Wright not getting away, but he might want to try going soon because you do not want to let Adam Cabot in front of you. We've seen these two battle pretty hard before.
And for whatever reason, my cameras aren't adjusting, so I'll have to figure out the reason for that. Definitely have the best cameras provided here by Dougie Beard. But it's on my end that something isn't working. Watching Kitty Kibbe there, peek to the middle. Casey Lakatos going the wrong way a little bit here, down 2 spots. Cabot up 14, up 11 for Reggie Ortega. The 2 car also on the move.
Yeah, see, most guys are either running the bottom or maybe running a groove off the bottom. It's all about who's in front of you. If the driver in front of you is running the white line, you don't really want to follow in their dirty air unless you're just trying to loosen them up. So you're probably going to run a groove above that, maybe get your left sides on that seam right above where the right side tires are for the guys running the white line. It might be something some drivers look to. I saw Philip Brewer trying to do that. Then he tried to run the way high line in 3 and 4, and it did not work. It's let Jeff Wright get a little bit of a bigger gap for the race lead.
Well, whatever it is, I haven't gotten to the bottom of it, so Try my best to figure it out here. That camera definitely not working.
That's one we need to use more often, I would say.
Yeah, that's probably what we're going to see here when these tires finally give up. A lot of people on the bottom, but the guys that are running the outside, I'm afraid for them because I know within the next 5 or so laps, that's not going to be feasible anymore. You're not going to gain as much.
We'll just see when that crossover point on tires is. You know, we see a lot of times, probably 20 to 30 laps, somewhere around that range, you'll see those drivers who really push their stuff end up going backwards. See that with a lot of drivers, a lot of the same drivers most weeks, as Cabot got the second over Philip Brewer, who's been running that middle lane, the 17 has. You look for him to maybe fall back. Kenny Kibbe's been pushing his stuff really hard. Bailey Turner's fallen back. He might be someone we see actually come back towards the front of the field later in this run, as he's going to go to the apron and try to pass the 8 car of Hatchell.
Turner gets the pass completed up to 6th position. Abbott has worked his way to 2nd now, flirting with the lead off of turn 2. Last time by, Cabot about 0.04 of a second faster. To put those last lap times on the left-hand side of your screen. Fastest car on the racetrack was the 17.
And 48, I think, knows that higher line, you kind of have to block it a little bit early in this run. We're still early in this run, not even 15 laps in. He actually kind of arrow blocked Cabot up the racetrack. Even with this arrow, you can arrow block a little bit. That's what the 48 did. He ran high last lap in 1 and 2. He didn't do it this time. And 17's gonna have a little bit of a run down the back stretch, trying to get by the 48. We saw how the battle went at Atlanta. Neither of them ended up winning that race, but this should be a fun one, as once again, 48 is going to stay on the bottom of the racetrack, give Cabot some clean air in that middle lane.
You saw Cabot get right up on the back end. That pushed Jeff Wright into the entry of the corner. He had to lift out of the throttle. We might see a change for the lead here going into 1.
Might see a slide job attempt here. They're both going to throw it into a corner, but Cabot didn't go for the slider. Then 48 just able to rip that higher line. And you know, I think Cabot's okay with that. If he can force the 48 off his line and maybe wear his own stuff out, I think Cabot's fine with that. It's just very rarely going to end up working out better for your tires, because he's been on that higher line a lot. Top 5 was sorted out. Really back end of the top 10, top 15, still all over the place.
15 of Christopher Hodges, able to work the outside on Chad Klinger. That was for 9th position. Then you see side by side just in front of him with Casey Lakatos, the 8 of Seth Hatchell. Reggie Ortega, Joshua Banks back and forth. Ortega going the wrong way now and gained up to the top 10.
Whoa, a little wiggle there for the 15 of Hodges, 50 of Lakatos. Lakatos also started pretty high up, fading just a little bit, but still well in the top 10 positions. Chad Klinger, all the controversy last week with the 33 and the 35 and all the others. He's back in the field. He's trying to get another top 10 to his name here at Chicagoland. He got to the outside of Lakatos, got a good run. Him and Banks almost had contact, but Banks can't shake off Reggie Ortega quite yet.
Trying to hold on to it, pushes up the racetrack a little bit. Lakatos still hemorrhaging spots. Chad Klinger will get by on the outside. Here comes the 35 of Banks. The top 10 still up for grabs. Also have Angelo Horonis, who just lost a spot to Justin Ritchie, the inside of 3 and 4. It looks like the 57 and 55 starting to move.
57 didn't really start gaining at the start of this race. Actually went backwards at the start of this race. Back further than 15th. Now back up into that top 15. Got 14th away from Bryce Shoemaker. Now he's starting to go forward in that Dr. Pepper car.
Oh, boy, Mahalski just about took some real estate from the 57. Close call there.
You're still not seeing a lot of things spread out. Oh, almost a little bit of contact there, but things aren't really spreading out. You talked about it probably won't get spread out there. I would think it would at some point on this run, because the fall-off is extreme as everyone's all over the track. 17, 48 chasing each other up and down the racetrack, but we're still seeing a very packed-up race. I mean, the top 6 or so have gotten somewhat away from the rest of the field, but this is still a dogfight in the mid-pack.
Well, you see the fastest lap times on the left-hand side of your screen. Take a look at them now. Just 19 laps into the run. That's 2 seconds almost.
In 20 laps, and we're still not. Oh, man, that's tight. 3 wide, 57 and 03 do not like each other, and probably going to voice their displeasure with each other later in this race, if not right now. But you're seeing still everyone all over the racetrack, and all that fall off, we're not even halfway through what you're probably going to do on a set of tires. So already being second and a half, 2 seconds off, it spells trouble. You might see an extra pit stop. It probably still wouldn't work, but you're going to see some drivers consider that for sure.
Banks able to get around Lakatos to crack his way into the top 10, but he has other plans for the 55. Looking to the inside as they cross the tri-oval. Justin Ritchie looking for the top 10. Not able to get it done off of 4. Probably going to push up the racetrack. Looks like the middle line starting to come in a little bit here, Connor.
And you're going to see that. That middle line's hard to beat here. You pinch someone down just a little bit. We see it at so many other tracks. So hard to get that pass on the inside part of the racetrack done when we're getting pinched down as Elliott Butler went to the outside of Ritchie. Joshua Banks is trying to get by these guys, driving glasses on, focus engaged. I wonder if those are blue light filtered glasses. If so, those are smart. I'd have to invest in those. That's a nice touch, actually. Really smart. And it helped his speed last week. I don't know if he was the fastest last week, but he got the victory nonetheless. Very fast. And looking for ninth on Chad Klinger.
It was an experiment, Connor, that worked out. So now,
yeah.
I don't know if you're superstitious, but if I try something new and it works, gets me a victory, I'm wearing it every week from then on.
Trying to preserve my eyes, as is he, so it's smart in that regard anyways, as he and Klinger are going to go to battle. Probably going to make some contact. Klinger doesn't care. He's just going to get by 2 for 1. He had a huge run. He actually hit the bumper of Christopher Hodges, tried to get to his outside, and couldn't do it. I tell you what, it's a dogfight. Yeah, big run. It's a dogfight here, dogfight at the front. The 48 and 17 have ran up the racetrack, but Jeff Wright knows that higher line is faster. He's been running it, trying to defend the 17, give him dirty air in the nose, and Cabot's trying to guess where the 48's going to go and just get clean air, and he just hasn't guessed right. And even Philip Brewer's in this battle.
Brewer got to the outside here. Big run now there off of turn 4.
Jeff Wright's going to have to decide which lane to block here. Brewer's going to try to clear them both, but he didn't really guess right. He entered right on the bumper of the 48, and you saw that dirty air on the nose just completely wash him up the racetrack. So Brewer's going to get second. I think we're going to see Cabot maybe start to slip a little bit here because he was pushing so hard trying to get that 48, trying to get that lead, get that clean air, and he's actually lost a spot because of it.
It's going to allow J.R. Shepard to the inside off the exit of 4. Doesn't quite have the run off the corner, but might be able to carry it into turn 1. This might allow Philip Brewer and Jeff Wright to break away a little bit as these guys run side by side. Brewer to the outside for the lead.
Tried it. It just, if you go a little bit too high, it doesn't seem like there's enough grip right next to the wall like we've seen before this update. He lost probably a tenth or two trying that. But everyone's on the top right now. Jeff Wright just entering slowly on the top just to give enough dirty air on the nose of second place to throw him off his game, make him a little bit too tight out of the corner. Then he turns it down the racetrack and gets a straighter, lower exit out of the corners. See right here, these guys just entering a lot faster. 44 almost got into the left rear of the 48, trying to loosen them up. Couldn't quite do it.
That might be the answer. I don't know if it's too early for it, Connor. That might be the only way around the 48 if he's going to keep aero blocking these guys. He's hoping that we get to that 55 lap mark where pit stops would commence. He's hoping that he can break away from this field. For the first half of this run, it's going to be like this. He's going to have someone contesting every lap.
I mean, we've seen it a lot of times with Jeff Wright. He'll just park it on your nose, and then he's going to be gone in the last 10 laps of a tire run. So we'll see if that's the case here. It hasn't happened quite yet. Brewer has saved his stuff nicely. 17's able to keep third. These top 5 are the ones who've really distanced themselves. Almost looks like a drafting race. As all the way from Jeff Wright to Kibbe, they've separated themselves from that battle for 6th by about a second.
There's Chad Klinger making a pass for 9th. Klinger's been hovering around this top 10 cut the whole
Brewer's
race.
got to run.
Can he take it somewhere, though?
He tried to enter high. I think when the 48 wants to get on the gas, he can do it. I thought he got in the gas a little too early. I thought he was going to hit the wall, but every time someone gets to his inside, he decides he actually wants to drive the car and gets away. So I think he's just toying with these guys right now.
Brewer almost led the lap there. Just shy of the start-finish line when he took the lead. Gonna get another good run across the tri-oval. Again, Jeff Wright defends, and here's a bump, letting him know.
let him know he's tight. He doesn't like the aero blocking. I don't think anyone who's raced Jeff Wright likes the aero blocking, but it's what's made him great. And, you know, we talked about it being a bottom-feeding type of race. That hasn't really been the case. The leaders are all on the top part of the racetrack. Cabot got a little too high, got in the wall. There's really only a handful of guys running the bottom of the racetrack right now. Everyone else playing towards that top. Blocking going on back there.
There's a cluster of cars going into turn 1. Angela Veronis was in this battle in the 29. Elliott Butler, Dakota Floyd, but no Mahalski in there. This is all outside. 11th position, outside the top 10.
Mahalski, Floyd, Horona's trying to get by through these guys. Ortega's in the mix there as well. And you're seeing these guys just try to push the limits of where the grip is on this racetrack all the way to the wall. Some of them are finding some grip. Others, they lose grip. They're going to lose a lot of time probably getting the wall as Butler fought his way to be outside of Hodges because he's starting to fade back to the back of the field just a little bit here. Butler drove it way hard into turn number 1, but he's able to make that work. But Floyd's got to run on both of them.
And we saw Reggie Ortega up in the top 10 earlier. Looks like the car settled back up. The 2 settles in 15th position. Trying to work his way around. The 2, or the 03 of Mahalski. The 29 of Horonis. Still a dogfight from 10th on back.
And these top 5, they're still pulling away. I mean, Seth Hatchell's in 5th, Turner, Banks. None of them are really closing in on those top 5, so these guys are just all on top of each other. 12th on back still as Hodges really starting to fade. And it almost seems like more at this track right now than other tracks. It seems like if you're stuck on that bottom, you're just going backwards.
One car off the racetrack here tonight. It's John Sanu in the number 86. Early exit for that driver. See if we can
Justin
find,
Ritchie.
I don't know if it's something happened
I think
there.
he dropped out. I think he dropped out. Did see not John Sanu, but Justin Ritchie actually came down to pit lane. Lap 33, it's a touch early. Maybe he is going to try to pull an extra pit stop with the extra set of tires that these drivers have. We marked when fall off was about 1.5 seconds, and that was about at the lap 15 mark. It really hasn't changed since then. Lap 15, Jeff Wright's lap was a 33.06, and last time by, he was in the 33.3, 33.4 range. So after about 15, 20 laps, that fall off seems to level off, which tells me the extra pit stop likely won't work.
However, if we have a caution that flips this strategy, anything's up to play. I mean, you can be in a situation where you came down pit road, everybody else comes in, the caution comes out, you look like a genius.
Right now, Adam Cabot is not looking smart. He drove so hard to get that lead, and it has cost him. You can see he's in the wall at a turn number 2. He's sliding. He's almost losing it. Shepard and Kibbe just trying to be the first ones to get by him, but that's showing how tough that pass is to make as they're 3 wide for 3rd. Shepard drove it in so hard all the way to the wall, but Kibbe's going to get the run out. Whoa, contact.
Cabot, cut him a little break there.
I think Cabot knows he drove his stuff off, but we expected this. He drove from 17th place to get into a battle for the lead. We knew his stuff was not going to last. He's trying to run that higher line. It's just not working.
Yeah, you can see the lap times there for Cabot. Oh boy, 14 and Kibbe
He's not done.
He's not done with it.
He's going to try to get whatever he can right now, but him holding up to 14 and 98 have let those top 2 pull away from this battle for 3rd. And Hatchell's still not really closing in too much on this battle for 3rd. The battle is actually behind him.
7th and 8th position for Turner, Klinger side by side. Banks in that mix. Floyd. Remember, Floyd was back around the 15th position the last time we mentioned his name. Up to the top 10 now. Got around Elliott Butler, Angelo Ronis, and a few others to get up here. Starting to see a little breakaway for the 6th through 12th place cars.
Just a little bit, getting just a little bit away from Mahalski, Ortega. The battle for 15th has faded off. Kish Hodges, Bryce Shoemaker, not the best of times. Sweeting, Lakatos is back there as well. He was top 5 at one point. Has faded a little bit. So, Sweeting, big wiggle out of turn number 2. Almost took to the apron. He got so sideways. But now at this point in the run, it took about 30 laps, but we're starting to see it get more spread out.
That's what Jeff Wright was waiting for. He wants this race to go green. We've seen it so many times. If this race stays green, Jeff Wright can just pull away with it. It's been that way for pretty much every mile and a half. But unfortunately for Jeff Wright, either A, we have a late race caution that puts him behind the 8 ball on strategy, gets him buried in this field, and then something bad happens to him. Or B, his connection/computer just didn't cooperate, especially in this later half of the regular season. Jeff Wright has definitely been in contention to get more than just 5 wins this year. He just doesn't have the results because of something else or another.
Yeah, we saw it at both Atlanta races. We saw it last week at Richmond. He was pretty fast, top 3 car. Doesn't get the finish because he ended up dropping out just to get out of the way. Didn't want to risk it. End up with a poor finish. And if there's anything that could stop him from a title, it's probably only his PC or his internet. So that's one thing we're going to have to look at. That could cost him a chance at a title. He's not as high up in the regular season standings. He has a chance to likely get up to about 7th, maybe 6th place. But I think is more focused on trying to keep the lead because Philip Brewer showing some great pace right now, and he tried to get to the right rear. 48's trying to block it, and Brewer lifted.
Just out of the throttle slightly there for Brewer. Going to try the high line in 1 and 2. He's going to get a decent run here off of the corner. Big shot here.
Wiggled.
Yeah, you got to take it here.
I think he's going to have him right here. Just got to drive it in harder than the 48 and just clear up. But he didn't really clear up in front of him. The 48 tried to drive it hard to the top side, but he just doesn't have the grip. Philip Brewer is going to take the lead, but Jeff Wright has a run back.
It'll be the first lead change of the night. It will be officially just 1 lap led, though, for the 44. Jeff Wright going to try to take it back into 1 and 2.
Brewer just got too tight through the center. He's not going to be able to throttle up on exit, so 48's actually going to get that spot back. I was thinking it looked like Brewer kind of got caught between pinching him down or running the high side and just kind of missed the line because of it, let the 48 get the advantage back. So we saw Adam Cabot peel off the pit lane that last lap.
Cabot 4 tires on the 17, 14.9 in the box. This is still a little bit early. I think one of the drivers I talked to, it was around the 50 to 55 lap mark that they were talking about hitting pit road.
Yeah, definitely a little early, so for sure, but we saw how bad his tires were. I think this run, he's probably going to try to keep his stuff on it a little bit more. He'll probably be better on the long run, even though we pit a lot earlier than pretty much everyone else in the field right now. I thought Brewer was going to pass him, pull away. Just could not quite hold it. And they're not catching him behind because the battle for third's still going. Kenny Kibbe finally got by J.R. Shepard for third. Justin Ritchie's just trying to get by all these guys.
Yeah, Ritchie on fresher tires, a lap down. Going to try to get his lap back the old-fashioned way. 55 clears for third. This is third on the racetrack, 26 for the 55. They'll have about a full 2 seconds to catch up to Philip Brewer.
48-44 has got another run, but not quite enough to get to the 48. I just wonder what Philip Brewer's strategy is going to be here. He could either beat the 48 to pit lane, just get track position over, or he could just run long and just take the tire advantage. I think I'd take the tire advantage. It just seems like after a while, the fall off has just leveled out. It's gotten, I will say though, it's gotten a little worse since lap 15. These drivers at the front are running 33.5s to 33.7s mainly.
It's 2 seconds now.
It is full 2 seconds, but I still think it's enough to the point where going long is not the worst thing in the world.
Kenny Kibbe thought so. He'll bring it out pit lane. And this would probably convince, I think, 4 or 5 more cars next lap.
Just have to wait and see as Richie gets his lap back, so that would put the 17 as a lucky dog, and we're just looking at the difference right now. Richie pit, we'll look at it though. Richie pit 12 laps ago. He's already only running about 32.6s, which are only a second faster than what the race leader Jeff Wright is running. So those times fall off in a hurry, but then not as much at a certain point. As like you mentioned, pretty much a lot of other drivers decided they were going to pit 98s and 24. Boots J.R. Shepard. He slides 09s in. did the 98 get a speeding penalty for that? Yes, he did. The 98's going to get speeding because of Ailey Turner's mistake, and it's going to kill his race. More drivers in, Hronis, Butler, Sweeting, but that's just the worst thing in the world. It's so annoying when you get the pit speed, the guy behind you doesn't, ends up booting you into a speeding penalty, and they don't get speeding. I'd be absolutely furious if I was J.R. Shepard, and no black flag clear means he will go at least one down, probably two down. The 24 got away with it, no damage, and was able to get off pit lane, but he did lose the spot to Chad Klinger.
Keep my opinions to myself on that.
Just a straight up mistake on Turner. It's not the opinion, that's the fact. Another pit stop. Lacatus was in. Not too many others pit that past lap.
Well, the Brewers lost a little bit of ground. Might be shaping up to come down pit road this time by. No.
It's almost an advantage being able to pit from a higher lane. You're pitting from the bottom because usually you got to get out of the way, so you're pitting at the bottom. You can't pit from the top when you're around traffic, but when you're kind of on your own like Philip Brewer is, you could probably afford to enter middle into turn 3 and then get it woed up and then pit. It'll gain you a lot of time, actually. If you ever watched All-Star qualifying like they used to do at Charlotte, you could kind of enter a little higher or run a little higher in the turns 3 and 4 and actually get a better entrance towards pit road off the banking. It would be a little faster. That's what I would do, but he's just going to follow Jeff Wright to pit lane. Both top 2 drivers in. Banks is going to stay on the track with Dakota Floyd as Ortega's away from his stall.
So Jeff Wright and Philip Brewer, the 2 closest for the lead. Already shaping up 51 laps in. Jeff Wright, both these cars hit the box perfectly. Jeff Wright most likely going to come out ahead of the 44. These two put together, I think we're going to see more of the same. And Philip Brewer had the answer for one lap. That's not good enough. You got to find a way around him, and you got to set sail.
And he had him. He just couldn't defend properly. I think if he went to the apron on the front stretch, kind of just outdrove the 48, dived into turn 1, he probably keeps the lead. That clean air important, especially late in the run. Just couldn't quite do it. He'll have another chance to do it for sure, but he'll have to get through some traffic with the 48 with these drivers who pit a little earlier, like Kenny Kibbe, Bailey Turner, Chad Klinger, and others.
Bryce Shoemaker, Dakota Floyd down pit road. Outlier Speedco on that 54. Ground supporter here on VSPEED.
Banks, race leader, comes in that time. Brian Chambliss going to get the lead now.
Cars scattered all over this racetrack. Take a look at it from the blimp camera.
What a green flag pit stop cycle will do to the field, just completely spread them out. And now we're waiting on the top 2 to come down to pit lane. Brian Chambliss, Brandon Wallace, last 2 drivers left on the racetrack. Chambliss is going to bring it down. Brandon Wallace is still in turn number 3, running the top, so he will not pit this time. Right now, Cabot would be cycling out to the race lead, obviously short pit compared to everyone else, as did Justin Ritchie, who's now running second, likely on an extra stop.
Well, let's get to lap lead. You could go probably another 2 to 3 laps, I would say, at the max. But if a caution comes out right now, Brandon Wallace would be in a great spot.
He'd be gaining a ton of track position, to say the least. I mean, that's putting it lightly how much track position he would gain if he could catch the yellow right now. Before we really saw anyone pit, he was running near the back in 25th, so yellow would completely change his race. It happened last week at Richmond with all the drama. We saw the yellow during green flag stops. We saw a lot of drivers' days get flipped with a timely yellow.
That should cycle us through. We're going to take you side by side here on VSPEED. You're watching the Saturday Night Racing League from Chicagoland. Last race of the regular season in season number 6. Full coverage will continue in just a moment.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
Too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time when Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time, so I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Welcome back live here at Chicagoland Speedway. Clean and green so far with only 7 lead changes, only one of those organically. We had green flag pit stops, 0 cautions here so far. And the class of the field has been Jeff Wright. He's led every lap pretty much under green. Adam Cabot, early pit stop, but about to lose the lead as we have a lap car and a 3-wide battle for the top spot. Cabot trying to defend off Jeff Wright.
Not going to be able to do it. It just got really tight. 48 wanted to push the issue, get by him to the outside right there, but had the lift because the 17 just doesn't have the grip to keep it off the wall right now. And pretty easy pass for the 48. And through all that traffic, not surprising, he gapped Philip Brewer by a good 2.5 seconds. So 48 could very well start growing that lead soon now that he's not going to be under pressure this run.
Not yet. I mean, we saw Brewer, he was fast. It looked like about that 30 lap mark, Brewer really came to life. So if he stays focused on that, maybe he can make up this deficit I don't know what your opinion is, Connor, but I think I would find a way to either overcut or undercut. Just be on a different strategy than Jeff Wright, because ultimately, if you pit with him, he's going to find a way to beat you every time.
Yeah, I was surprised he followed him down. Maybe that was just him being conservative, not want to lose extra spots, excuse me. And maybe this next round of pit stops, if we get there, he will do a different strategy. I think I agree. You have to do something different than him. But I'm not sure. We'll see if his pace is on par with the 48. Remember last time, Jeff Wright had to really battle the 17 for about 10-15 laps before Philip Brewer even got back to second with a lot more speed. How much of Jeff Wright's pace was kind of altered because of how hard Adam Cabot ran him? That could be a possibility as well. Jeff Wright never really had a chance to save his tires. This run he will.
We're checking in on Jared Shepard. Of course, that speeding penalty. And you can say whatever you want, but ultimately got hit from behind. 24 of Bailey Turner got into the back of J.R. Shepard. That bump sent the car over the speed limit on pit road. We had some comments about it there during the break, but whatever you want to say about it, it's just a black flag you have to serve in the format we're racing.
The only thing you can do is try to chase down Keith Shoemaker to get on the lead lap and try to be in a lucky dog position, but it's about a 7-second gap up to the 88, who has not had a good day himself, but he is in a lucky dog spot. Next driver that would go a lap down, it wouldn't be Brandon Wallace, but he's got the fresher tires. Then it's Chris Hodges, who started top 10, ran top 10, then really faded. Not a great long run, not a great pit stop cycle for him, and kind of in his own world back there in 24th now.
Yeah, what happened to Chris Hodges? Doesn't look like there was any errors on pit road. 14.3 in the box. That's a really good pit stop. 38.7. Doesn't look like anything in the box or on pit lane. Just pace here, maybe execution on and off pit road. Combination of things happening in the 15 here. Needs a caution. There's a lot of drivers outside the top 20 that are hoping a yellow comes out.
He's caused hit pit lane. This is pretty off schedule. He pit lap 49 and it's lap 67, so this is pretty off schedule. We'll see if he exits. He will, so kind of felt off schedule, but now he'll be a lap down.
And this could be part of the plan as well. Some of these drivers were talking about 4-stop race. When to do it, though. And look who's caught up already. What happened here?
I'm not quite sure. That took a lot shorter than I thought it would all of a sudden. It's like the 44 decided to start driving. And I thought Cabot was going to be trying to keep him behind him, but he couldn't quite do it.
Let's keep an eye here on Jeff Wright. Something had to happen here because Philip Brewer doesn't just gain a full second for no reason.
And Jeff Wright saving. I mean, nothing happened. He had no one to battle. They could have just been trying to hard save the tires. Brewer just got in the wall a little bit live, but no damage. But I feel like that's just Jeff Wright probably over saving his stuff, not wanting to run his stuff too hard. I think if the 44-17 got back to him, he'd start picking it up again, but not wanting to be too crazy on the tires, I would say. That would be my guess. If 17 tried throwing a big block on Philip Brewer there, but couldn't quite hold him off. I will say, as it stands, that undercut, pretty good for the 17. And then here's the crossover. Brewer just better tires, gets by Adam Cabot pretty easily as we pass halfway.
And there's where we picked it up. I mean, kudos to Philip Brewer. I think if he could get clear of Jeff Wright, could absolutely drive away. Unfortunately, he has to use a lot of that car up to get there. And that's where we saw the last time. He started deeper, lost a lot of time, had to work his way back up there, lost the positions, did start outside that second row, so it wasn't a terrible starting spot, but you get everybody to your inside, guys get around you, you fall back, 4th, 5th position, then you have dirty air. It takes a while for this race to formulate. Maybe that's where we're not seeing the speed. He's always playing catch up, and he probably has a faster car, but Jeff Wright is knowing that he can defend every lap.
He's a defensive master. He's done it all season. We saw the 33, a master class at Texas. I mean, there's an art to just keeping people behind you. It's really hard to pull away and not blow your tires off. I mean, you don't really see huge gaps anymore. I mean, even with Jeff Wright, the furthest he'll get away, most tracks is only a couple of seconds. There's tracks here and there he will pull away big time, but it's so hard to keep your tires on it and pull with a big gap in this state of iRacing. So the best thing you can do besides that is just back up just enough to the person in second to the point where you can keep your tires on it, but also keep the clean air in the track position. You don't want to back up too close to them, or else they'll get your aero loose or even hit you. But there's a fine art to keeping them right on your bumper still, as Jeff Wright's doing that right now, just kind of mirror driving the 44. Brewer trying to gas it up, get to the right recorder panel, and just couldn't do it.
Yeah, Jeremiah Nelson in the chat earlier. Hello to you. We also had the old Peacock in here, and he said if he wins this race, someone better fill that man an ice cold beer. And I think he spelled it with a PH, so clever play on words. I agree. Bill Brewer would deserve one. He has been ice cold this whole time, working his way back up there and putting the pressure on the 48 again into one.
Trying to get to the bottom, it's just not possible. Every time he gets to the inside of the 48, Jeff Wright has the grip to just throttle away from him. The only way you're going to be able to do that on the bottom is if you give him a little bit of a boot or get him just enough air loose to the point where you don't have to give him the boot, but that's just so hard to do. Every time the 48 gives him this much room on the top of the racetrack, he has to try to take advantage, get a big run. And he's done that a lot of times to get to his inside, but once he gets to his inside, there's nothing he can do. Battle for fourth's also heating up at the same time. Behind these guys are 3 wide for the 4th position. Actually, here comes Kibbe. Elliott Butler came up all the way to the top 6 positions.
Kibbe down low, Butler in the middle. That was Bailey Turner on the outside. Kibbe's going to hang the inside. Trying to keep pace, taking into 3 and 4. Outside a little bit faster, off into the tri-oval. But Kibbe does gain 1 spot out of this.
And Kibbe and Turner have been next to each other this entire run. I can imagine one's probably sick of the other. I don't know which is which, but they've been battling for position this entire run. And Elliott Butler, I think, just finally caught them with maybe slightly fresher tires. Angel Horonis up to 8th. We talked about him. He was in like the 15th position, but he's climbed up through this field, through pit stops, through tire strategy. He's up here as well. And a name that's a little bit further back is Joshua Banks. He got close to a top 5, could never quite get up there, and he's only back in 10th. Not where I exactly thought he'd be at this point.
Me either. I had him projected to be in the top 10, so hopefully he can get this together.
Oh, Hatchell got doored by Elliott Butler a little bit. I thought they were going to crash right there, but Hatchell made another good save, another good decision, but a little bit of door slapping into turn 1.
Back on the replay into 1.
See, right
there's a touch.
There. I'm not even sure the 6 came down or just the 8 tried to use as much of a track as possible and they just came together, but I don't think any of them got damage.
Well, here's an on board with the 8. I think the 8 comes up a little bit.
I think he came up a little bit. I don't think Butler did anything dirty at all there, actually. Hatchell had to regroup for the 2nd time today. He's had to save a car from wrecking twice.
How about some 3 wide? This is around 15th position. Casey Licata's going to get a 2-for-1 special. Justin Ritchie on the outside. Noah Mahalski in the middle. 50 gets the best of them.
And they're both passing Justin Ritchie. Remember, he pit lap 33, and if he was on the 3-stop, he probably would have pit by now. So just try to get off strategy, gain some track position. I'm not quite sure if it's fully worked out from when he did come down pit lane. He pit, once again, like lap 32, lap 33. He was running in the 20th position, so I guess technically speaking, it has netted him some positions, but not too many.
Almost some contact there between the 03 and the 50. Mahalski push up the racetrack out of the exit of 4. Able to hold it down. Brief little connection issue there for just a moment. Things clear back up.
Yeah, Rich just struggling trying to get the pit lane as soon as possible. Mahalski and Licata's pretty much on a similar strategy as far as tires, and it's spread out, but there's still battles. A lot of parts on the racetrack. You got the battle for the lead. You had the battle for fourth that's going on with about 8 cars, and then you got the battle for 15th position pretty stacked up as well.
And whatever my internet's doing right now, it needs to sort itself out. We got a great race going on right now.
You see these two are gapped out of Cabot. Once again, that short pit did get him back to third, but really nothing more than that. And he's faded well off that group and is kind of falling back to that group in fourth. Ooh, right hit the wall on entry there. Kind of gave the 44 a chance to get to the bottom again, but time again, that 48 can get the run off the top and just scoot away, but he might not get as good of a run if the 44 could just cling towards that left rear quarter panel, but he just quite couldn't.
I think I'm just enjoying the fact that I painted both these cars. That's what I love the most about it.
Right now, you're guaranteed a designer dub, but it's not that easy.
It's not that easy. Nothing's guaranteed. These guys can take each other out.
Pretty easily, yes. Oh, this is a big
send.
dive. Oh, this is a slide job. I didn't think he was going to try it. He finally tried one. He pulled it off pretty good. The 48 had to check up for him. So that was pretty well executed to just get in front of the 48. Now he's going to have to force the 48 to pretty much do the same thing. We slipped up the racetrack. That was the same exact thing that happened to Brewer the last time he got in front of the 48. He got through turns 3 and 4, and he just quite couldn't point the nose on the top side, and it lets the 48 get by him again. Yeah, what? I don't know who's going to get the battle for fourth. Butler just got in the back of Kenny Kibbe. I don't know if the 24 is the best out of all these guys, but there's about 8 drivers trying to get fourth place right now.
A lot of movement back here from 5th back to 10th.
Chad Klinger's found himself up into that 6th position all of a sudden.
And with more on the line here in the cut line, we haven't really talked too much about it. There's a few drivers here that could fall out of it. They've had pretty good performances. Jeff Hatchell, of course, great in the points here. But some of the guys that were near that cut mark, Connor, you had Bryce Shoemaker that was right on the edge of it. We looked at the statistics to start this race. You had Dakota Floyd, 53 plus. Justin Ritchie, who's not had a good day on strategy, could probably lose a spot to Chuck Sweeting over this. You've got Bryce Shoemaker, needs to gain 32 points. Shoemaker is running all the way back here in 20th position, so he's fallen out. Chuck Sweeting in the 75, up about 7 or 8 spots.
Marshall Banks just got the 4th, but yeah, the drivers who are right on the cut line, worried about points. I don't think much is fluctuating at the moment. Things could change. Yellow could change everything, but right now Shoemaker just not running well enough right now to try to get any of those positions.
And try to find clean air right now on board with the number 57 of Dakota Floyd. The perfect opportunity as we are past the halfway mark by about 20 laps. Let's go ahead and get loud. Presented by FireStorm Racing. We started pit stops, and man, was that hairy there, Connor. We just saw the 17 come down pit road. I think we need to go back and watch that really quickly on a replay. Almost lost it coming into the pit lane.
I'm not quite sure how he made it. Saw a lot of people pit there. Kibbe, 24 did, 17 did. A number of others as well. I believe J.R. Shepard, no, he hadn't pit. But yeah, 24, 17, 14, the main guys who pit there. Also, Justin Ritchie peeled it down. I don't know how he got down there at pit speed, that's for sure. And another driver pit just then, Noah Mahalski.
Hiccup there out of 2, almost got into the wall, or if he did, it was close. But here he comes into pit lane. Watch how close this car to losing control. Locks it up, slides it, still sliding it.
Then he almost met the front bumper. Bailey Turner, who's already had some issues on pit road himself. But yeah, that tells me he has so much rear brake in it to get it to turn that he just wasn't ready for how loose it was going to be under braking, trying to get the pit lane. As here comes Dakota Floyd, Horonis in. But yeah, that was a good job somehow getting it to pit lane cleanly. Lost a lot of time doing it, but it was better than missing pit lane.
57 of Dakota Floyd down pit road. Angela Horonis, Noah Halsky, and Ben Lafter have just left the pit road. The battle for the lead has spread out a lot. 1.3 seconds now. Philip Brewer. If I'm Brewer, I'm coming down either 2 or 3 laps ahead of Jeff Wright or 2 or 3 laps after.
And you got to do something different. Elliot Butler's in, Shinovsky's in. But yeah, got to do something different very clearly. Even more than the last run, wore his tires off. He's 2 to 3 tenths slower per lap right now than the 48. So obviously got to do something different. Not going to pit this lap, running the high part of the racetrack, but just continuously losing time.
Ripo's 44 looking really good, though. It's about 3 seconds, 3.5 back to Joshua Banks. The 48 and 44 have been the class of the field all day so far. One caution could change that. So far, clean and green. We've seen our 8th lead change of the day. 0 cautions, and I have a feeling Jeff Wright probably going to pull it down pit road next lap.
Well, he better, because Philip Brewer just brought it to pit lane, so he's either going to have to respond or he's going to be the one to have to run 2 or 3 extra laps, just get a tire advantage, because 1 lap, that should be enough for Brewer to get in front of the 48, as I believe Seth Hatchell came down as well.
This is the response from Jeff Wright.
Looks like he's coming in. Yeah, I was about to say he's running as low as he has been, so he's going to bring it immediate response. Pretty deep, but much cleaner than what we saw the 17 do, and that's about as fast on pit entry as you can be. That was near perfect. Chad Klinger is going to follow him down.
He'll hand the lead over to Joshua Banks for his 2nd lap lead of the day. Banks going to run an additional lap. Will we see the 35 peel it down? I think if you're Joshua Banks, you go an extra 2 or 3. You were already 2 or 3 seconds off the lead. You might as well.
44 is coming through turns 3 and 4 right now. Banks is going to bring it down to pit lane. Pretty much followed the 17 a little bit too deep. Brewer's at the line. 48's on the apron. It's going to be pretty close between them. Brewer's going to get held up by some of these slower cars. I think the 48's going to get him still.
And you can't predict that. You don't know that that's going to happen.
I think the decision would have been a good hindsight's 2020. I think that you just should have tried going longer than the 48. Chambliss, Ortega, lap down. J.R. Shepard's going to come down the pit lane as well, but you knew he was probably either going to respond or go long. I felt like you had to try to be on the offense with the 48. It just didn't work out, and I think even if those cars weren't there, he was not going to get out in front of the 48. Jeff Wright just did a better job on his in lap, pit in, pit exit. It was just better.
it over. Chris Hodges going to try to lead a lap here. How long does the 15 stay out? Looks like long enough to get a lap led. Bonus point coming the way for the 15 team. But Hodges has been a little off pace here today. Started in 10th, has fallen out of the top 20. So there's Cabot and Turner. They've taken over the top 2 spots for how long?
Probably maybe 5 to 10 laps longer. It'll take a little bit for the 48 to get there from roughly, I would say, 3 seconds back. 48's running 31.6s. These drivers are already running 32.6s, 32.7s. So it's going to be a second per lap. So it won't be 5:10. It'll really be like 3.
99 of Brandon Wallace down pit road now. And that should cycle everybody out, with the exception of Hodges, who's still out on the racetrack trying to run it long.
Hoping for Yellow, trying to get something to go his way. Interested to see how, if at all, how much those guys in the top 3 will fight Cabot, Turner, Kibbe. I mean, it is the last run of the race. You could try to fight Jeff Wright, but when he's a second faster, it's not going to be much of a fight. So I'm just interested to see if they even do try.
Gotta do something. Sandy Cap's 48 has been perfect so far. 1.6 seconds ahead of Philip Brewer, who has a 1-lap disadvantage now on tires.
That's the worst thing. If you're going to undercut, you have to get out in front of him. Otherwise, it's almost like you feel like your race is over at that point. I can imagine he's probably trying to save his stuff a little bit, try something different than charge Adam late. That's going to be tough to do. He's given up a lot of time this run already.
He can pray that Adam Cabot gives a hard time to the 48 car.
He can't. There's nothing he can do.
Yeah, it's a 6-lap difference on tires. That's just not going to happen.
Going to pass Cabot for second, and he's going to pass Hodges for literally the race lead, as they're all going to try to get by the 15 who stayed out.
I would predict Brewer to get to second position, no problem. And I think the 35 is the big talker here. Went a little deep on pit road, lost a lot of ground. Didn't predict him to come out this deep into the field. But he's got a lot of ground to make up to get back to that 3rd spot.
It's almost like maybe that's what's been holding him back, because he really didn't gain through the first pit cycle either. And obviously, it looked to me his first pit stop was clean. Obviously, the second one, the entry was bad, lost a lot of time there. It just has not been a very smooth race. We've seen him start outside the top 10 a decent amount of times this season. Been able to get through the field tonight. Hasn't been as easy. He did get to the top 5 at the end of the previous run, but he's going to have a lot more work to do to get that done this time. He's got a long way to get up to Dakota Floyd, who should cycle out to be that 5th position. Excuse me, Kenny Kibbe. He's got a while to get to Kibbe, actually. Brewer's just going to rocket around these guys same way.
It's 1.7 now that Philip Brewer has cleared Bailey Turner, Kenneth Kibbe, and Adam Cabot. The long road ahead for the 44 if he wants to catch up to Jeff Wright. We saw him shave down about 1.5 seconds. But I don't know that he can do over 2 seconds. That's a long way to go, and it's 1.7. Jeff Wright has turned on the afterburners. He has led now 87 of the 108 complete. About to be 88 of the 109 completed here tonight. If you didn't pick Jeff Wright to win at Chicagoland, you probably haven't watched a Saturday Night Racing League race at this track.
Or any track.
Yeah.
Really any track we go to, he's going to be a threat if he just turns on his computer. Like we've said a lot the past few weeks, I think his biggest opponent is his computer. But right now, in today, his biggest opponent has been that 44. And all day, it's been a two-horse race. Ever since we got deep into this long run, the only driver who's been able to fight him is that 44 car. No one else has been close. And 48, time and time again, both runs, and even this third run's just been able to play defense perfectly. Where the 44 had a taste of the lead twice, he just couldn't hold it.
Well, and Wright has been perfect with saving when he needs to. Right now, you're watching that deficit kind of fluctuate in that 1.7, 1.6 range. That's Jeff Wright keeping what he has. Even though he has a one-lap advantage on tires, it's very easy to go out there. And Connor, we've all been guilty of this. We get the lead, we drive way harder than we need to, and 30 laps into the run, we have nothing left. Then we watch that guy shave off 3-4 tenths a lap, catch up to us. We can't do anything about it. So Jeff Wright knows that. He's going to save everything he can in case Philip Brewer's doing the same.
I mean, I think, yeah, he's got a lot in the tank, I'm sure, and he's been good at that all season. This is probably one of the worst cars for overdriving your tires. And in next gen, especially, I think if you overdrive your tires, you can still keep some track position because the dirty air is even worse than that car. I think in the O'Reilly car and the truck, you can't really do that. You wear your stuff out, you're going to go backwards. Dirty air is still a problem, but not enough to the point where you can keep track position and just blow your tires off. It's a lot harder to do that here. So that tire conservation is so important to being at the front when it matters. And, you know, it's a fine balance between, you know, having good short run pace for maybe a late race restart and having long run pace to where we'd get a green race like this to keep the tires on it and not lose 5-10 positions every long run. So Jeff Wright's a master at that. He has been ever since this league was created. He's proven it once again at another mile-and-a-half racetrack right now. He's pulling away from Brewer. I can't imagine Brewer's trying something, but he is not gaining on that 48 car. And if he is, it's rubber banding back and forth.
Battle for position. This is 13th on your screen. Ryan Chambliss battling with Chuck Sweeting. You put the two of Reggie Ortega in this as well. Nowalski ahead of this by about 0.7 of a second. It's a big gap up there to the top 10. But Chambliss does get around the 75, running 13th now.
It's running at 13th, a little bit further up the road. Chad Klinger went a little bit long, or he actually pit with the 48. He's in 11th position. Not the day Sweeting probably wanted with him being the first driver on the cut line, but this will be enough as it stands, as he's just going to let Ortega by for that 14th position.
Yes, Bryce
Might have a run back, never
him.
mind. Yeah, Shoemaker just hasn't had the day he wanted either. Just running 17th has not been fast enough. Pretty simple.
Yeah, and for the 54, you got to feel for him because he had that chance last week in that one mistake. He looked so good, almost perfect through Richmond, and got himself into a position. We know the 54 is good at short track racing. But that one mistake set him back. He lost from second all the way back to 10th. It just cascade of mistakes, and you know he wishes he had that one back. That was definitely a podium day for the 54. He did everything right, played the strategy, maybe didn't have a top 10 car, but put himself in a situation to finish in the top 5. You have to have those ones every time you get a chance.
He just couldn't pull it off, and you know he'll remember that for next season, another season, just what he could do to try to make that top 14 cut line and just try to improve on it next season and maybe have a shot at a championship. Another driver it's probably going to be wishing he pit another lap is that 98. He never really had a chance after the first pit stop, getting booted by Bailey Turner. He's still 25th position. He is not in a lucky dog position because of the 99 and 15, so just hoping for a string of yellows to get him back in this one. Maybe take a wave around. Pretty big deal for him, too, with Philip Brewer running so well tonight. Brewer's likely going to pick up that 5th position in points, which Shepard's probably not going to be happy about. Also, second place in points also up for grabs. Turner and Kibbe came in tonight 1 point separated. We've seen them battle pretty much this entire last half of this race, but looks like Turner has the advantage at this point.
Kibbe's hunting back there, though, in the 14. It's not very often we see the 14 qualify. In the beginning of this season and previous seasons, the 14 has elected to start deeper in this field. And last season, it kind of came back to bite him. You know, he had a fast car, but he had to race so hard to get up here. This year, I think he's taken some of that to heart. And so certain tracks, he has elected to qualify, and he's getting the results for it.
Definitely had good results. That's why he's almost runner-up in the points.
Gooder, I think, is what you say. Gooder?
He's a lot gooder this year, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, you pointed out my typos. I had to point that one out.
I don't even know when I do it either, so it is what it is. But either way, he's ran good. That's why he's second in points right now, and he's had his close calls. He could have won last week at Richmond, Darlington. A few months ago, he was really close to getting victory there. He's had his close calls for sure. After having some wins, his first win at Richmond last season, hasn't quite been able to break through, as a few others haven't been able to break through, but we know the speed's there.
Absolutely there. Every single week, definitely a top 5 car in every mile and a half we went to. And putting the pressure on Bailey Turner in the entry of 1. Turner does a little aero block there just to keep the 14 at bay. Will it be enough? 20 laps to go from Chicagoland. Caution free. Jeff Wright's lead has dwindled down. I said he was saving. It's down to 1.1 seconds here off of turn 4.
We'll see. If that gap gets below half a second, I'll start looking that way. But Brewer's still got so much to gain, and no traffic's going to play a factor in this. Austin Belke well up the road. I don't even think Brandon Wallace is going to be able to catch either of the top 2 to get his lap back this time, so that shouldn't be a factor either. So still a lot of other battles on the racetrack. Third, 4th, and 5th have been bumper to bumper since they all came down the pit lane. Battle for 6th, still pretty clumped up as well. You got Banks, Klinger on slightly fresher tires trying to catch Elliott Butler and Seth Hatchell.
And Kitty Kibbe took a stab for that 4th position. Had to lift out of the throttle to not get into Bailey Turner. Back to the drawing board. Same distance.
It just seems like the way this track is evolved, you'll run a little lower, maybe low to middle on the racetrack at the first part of the run just to keep a little bit of tire life in it. But once you're just trying to push and get whatever you can, you're going to go to about the 3rd lane. There's kind of 4 lanes. I mean, there's 4 lanes as far as where the seams are on the racetrack, but you don't want to be right next to that wall. Groove off the wall, really where Chad Klinger's running, is the sweet spot once we get deeper in the run. That's where a lot of drivers making their pace, which is why it's been hard to pass, because that high side gets a good run out of turn 2 and turn 4 to point. Those passes are tough to make if you don't pull a slide job, and you don't really have the room to pull a slide job here.
We were almost pulling 3 wide there with Dakota Floyd, Joshua Banks, and Chad Klinger, who's trying to get around the 57. He's been trying for about 10 laps now. Going to be on the inside again through 3 and 4. Nothing yet.
Bottom, like we said, we thought the bottom would be really the preferred lane. That just hasn't been the case after 10, 15 laps in a run. And even then, on the short run, the bottom wasn't that good. Just, you know, that higher side has prevailed all night.
I think the track temperature coming up as this race
Caution.
progressed.
Oh, crash. Turn 1.
Out.
Chuck Sweeting's in it. And Noah Mahalski.
This changes everything. If you have that extra tire set, you're taking it now.
I mean, you're going to see everyone bring it down the pit lane this time. Big break for Jared Shepard. He'll have to take a wave, but he'll be on the lead lap, and that just looked like a case where Mahalski just did not give room to Chuck Sweeting.
Well, you say that. Let's watch it from a different angle, because I see something a little different.
Sweeting gets to the outside. He's there.
Yeah.
0-3 just kind of crowded him. You know, we see this all the time at Chicagoland. All the time you're fighting to try to keep drivers off your right rear. Sweeting gets a good run, forces his way high. Mahalski doesn't really block it too hard, but just came up the track enough to where they both went into the outside wall. You see this here and at Kansas more than any other mile and a half. And, you know, looking at that, I'm not sure the 0-3 crowded him too much, but the 75 didn't have that much room to the outside wall. They just didn't give each other a lot of room, really. And it's going to bring everyone lead lap to pit lane for sure. Big break for Philip Brewer. Gives him another chance. But I think it's an even bigger break for Adam Cabot.
Race just got interesting. If you're just joining us, it was a dominant performance so far from the 48. But Philip Brewer just got a gift. He was probably going to finish second here.
Well, it could be a gift. It could be a curse, as everyone's going to come off pit lane. I don't
All
think you're
two
going to
tires?
see. No, I was about to say we weren't going to see 2 tires. Yes, we did. 24, 35, 57, and a 09. So 4 drivers off of pit road with 2 tires. And it's Wright, Brewer, Cabot, Hatchell, Kibbe. All those guys took 4 still. So I did not think we were going to see 2 tires. We'll see. This is a big deal for J.R. Shepard. He might not get a top 10 or something out of this, but he will get back on the lead lap, and if we catch a yellow, could get some fresher tires on it.
We gotta pull Joshua Banks up here. How many times has this guy figured out a way to be in contention for the end of this race?
How about the top 2, Bailey Turner, Joshua Banks, both drivers who have won races taking 2 tires. Last week, how did Joshua Banks win that race? He took 2 tires, got the clean air, pulled away.
I gotta find him. All right, Sad Boys Racing driver into the broadcast booth is Joshua Banks. This is the gamble, buddy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. See how it goes, but we got to make something happen. We've been running in the back too long, so trying to make something happen here.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to go one of 2 ways. Either we're going to run these next 15 or less laps back to the finish, or we're going to have another caution that I think makes this strategy even better.
Oh yeah, we'll see. I just think the car is just way too tight on even any run, really. That top side can defend really well, so I think these 2 tires will hold off pretty well. I hope. We'll see.
All right, well, we're going to put you back at Sad Boys. Good luck out there, Josh.
I appreciate it.
That's going to be tough. I mean, you're banking on a little bit of cautions, a little bit of strategy. You got 2 fast guys behind you.
You're banking on others to do it, and he's not alone. He got 3 other drivers on the same strategy, but the problem is he's not first. He's got to get through Bailey Turner, who knows how to do it himself on 2 tires.
Here we go. Last race of the regular season, it wouldn't be SNR without it. 2-tire call for Bailey Turner, Joshua Banks, Chad Klinger, Dakota Floyd. Then you have Jeff Wright going 3 wide to the inside.
Yeah, Floyd couldn't really block it. You see the difference between 4 versus 2. With the 48 is going to get 2-3 positions out of turn number 2. He's already up to 3rd. Hatchell's in the wall. Everyone kept it straight, but the 48's already up to 3rd.
And the 44 gets checked up. Chad Klinger holding the 44.
Oh, 3 wide. Oh, it's tight. Contact. Oh, 6 is going to make it 4 wide. Nope, he backed out of it. And not the restart he needed. This is chaos as a 48. Jeff Wright already going for the lead as Banks got the lead on the restart from the 24. Here we go,
And
big block. Seen these 2 come together before.
The games you play and strategy into the wall for the 35.
Not
but
quite.
enough to hold the lead.
I tell you what, Jeff Wright better get this lead, get this pass done, because Cabot already got up to 3rd. If he doesn't make this pass, gets held up, Cabot's going to have a huge run. Oh, 35 sliding out of turn number 2, but he's still on the right rear. Here comes Brewer. He got the 4th. Crash down the back straightaway. Big one. Floyd's in it. Shoemaker's in it. Brandon Wallace. Ryan Chambliss. And Jeff Wright got the race lead.
It's Dakota Floyd into the outside wall.
I couldn't quite see what happened there.
Yeah, I think Floyd hit the wall first.
Right, yeah, there into the wall, down into the 9, and sets that crash off. Wow, Matt Shanowski did a great job avoiding that. I think Belke got into Brandon Wallace and spun him around in the checkup. Just bounced into him. Wow. Wow, that was way too close for comfort there.
I think the 57 might have got a little loose right here. Yeah.
Yeah, just wiggled. Couldn't quite hold it.
And if you're Bryce Shoemaker, the day just got worse.
And Dakota Floyd, remember, he was one of those drivers on 2 tires, and he lost probably the most track position. It was just, you could tell, even with the 35 in clean air, as Shoemaker just couldn't check up in time, but you could tell in clean air it was loose, and all that dirty air in traffic where the 57 dropped back on 2 tires, there just was not much grip to be had for him.
So a caution-free race within the last 15 laps. The yellow comes out. That breeds another caution. 2 cautions now. Remember, we do have 3 green-white checkers at our disposal. I wouldn't expect anybody in this top 10 to come down pit road, but it wouldn't be surprising if you're Matt Shinosky, Austin Belkey, maybe Brian Chambliss, come down, get 4 fresh ones. Could have a good strategy.
Saw Chad Klinger, he was dropped back to about 8th on that restart. He came down the pit. So we'll see if it'll only be 2-3 laps. I'm not sure how much of an advantage it'll be, but once again, he was one of those drivers who took 2 tires trying to see if it would work. It didn't, so decided to just try to get any tire advantage possible, and works out. The wave run works out for J.R. Shepard because he's going to be able to have slightly fresher tires himself, and we'll see what finish he can get out of this day.
A racing pace car cooling off the tires down on the apron there across the tri-oval.
Oh, yeah, to get ready to implement the choose. He's getting out of the way so they can see the choose feed.
Brian Chambliss with a black flag down pit road, and I think we need to go back and watch this pit road entry just for a second, just for some comedic relief. I think he revved this car up a few times.
I think that motor's seen better days.
He already knew it was smoking, and he's going to come to pit lane. He just made it.
That thing didn't have much juice left in it. That was just not what Banks wanted to see. He was just going to hang on the right side door of Jeff Wright till the end of the race, but timing on the yellow gave the 48 with 4 tires the lead. So unless he gets a magical restart, hangs on his door, not much he's going to be able to do here. It's really going to be up to the 17 or 44 on a short run, see if on their 4 tires they can chase down and pass that 48.
Take a perfect restart. 35 spins the tires a little bit.
Got a pretty good one.
6 to go.
Got a pretty good one. Gonna side draft them back, but the 17's got to run to the 48's bumper. Trying to loosen them up on the restart. 48's up the track, but got it out of the corner, and Cabot's gonna get the second.
3 wide in the background.
4 wide. They're looking 4.
Haley Turner lost about 5 positions just now.
Oh, Brewer's in the wall. Kibbe tried to go middle, backed out of it. It's going to give Elliott Butler the outside line for that 5th spot. He tires the call last week, not the call this week.
It's tight coming off the 2.
Elliott Butler going to get the 4th. Big rally for him.
And it's just chaos from 5th on back.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
He's picking up spots. Oh, contact! 89, 24's around. 31 and the caution's out with 4 to go.
I don't know if Cabot wanted that or not. He was staying staying close to the 48 in the draft. But he'll get another restart out, as will Philip Brewer on a green-white checker.
And Ben Lafter's luck continues.
Yeah, big damage. 24's got good right rear damage.
These are teammates. These are all teammates here involved in this one.
64 got close to the wall. Oh, he mistimed it. He tried to go to the outside of Shinosky, had a huge run. He mistimed it, hit the rear bumper of a 31, and he came down, I believe, in the Belkey. And then he also got Turner. Check up right there. Hits him, and then chain reaction. Unfortunately, all of his doing with that mistake.
And the 24, a little bit of right rear damage. He lost a lot of spots there on that restart. Got pinned 3 wide for a moment, got loose, lost a few more, fell back to around the 14th, 15th position. Now running 17th. Great save, but the 24 is going to have to come down pit road.
Yeah, definitely have to get fresher tires. Just try to salvage what he can out of the day. Big deal for Kenny Kibbe, looking to try to lock up second place in the regular season standings. J.R. Shepard gonna get some extra positions. He was a lap down all day. Now he's up to 13th. I think he would take that with how the first part of his race went. Chad Clare, he's on slightly fresher tires. He got up to 12th.
Caleb Weekly says, I'm shopping right now. So I'm not sure if we're shopping for the winner. A lot of people talking about who we got to pick here.
Shopping for a new chassis.
Oh, new wheel, I heard.
Yeah. It's one thing we didn't know. Caleb Weekly was not in this race. They came into tonight plus 54, so Richie will pass them in points. Floyd will. Sweeting probably will, but Bryce Shoemaker would pretty much have to win the race. Shoemaker would have had to win the race, and that's obviously not going to happen, so Weekly will be fine.
But nothing's guaranteed here in the top 5. We've had Philip Brewer, Jeff Wright, all race long, 48 and 44. And again, on that restart before this one, I watched Brewer just get used by everyone around him. Could not get by Chad Klinger, got pinned up into the wall, then the next restart into the wall again, and still somehow managed to get to 3rd. But if there's any right front damage on that car at all, I don't think you can get around Jeff Wright with it. You have to execute this restart perfectly, take it into turn 1, and either A, move Jeff Wright, or B, get such a good run off of turn 2 and clear Cabot that you have something for the white flag.
I think he's got a clean car. Just unfortunately, he dropped back to 3rd, but if he times it right, it could work out for him. Adam Cabot, his job is to do what the 35 did on that restart. Just hang on the right rear quarter panel, try to side draft him, try to get him aero loose, just do something. Got to stay with him out of turn 2. If you could stay on his bumper, close enough to his bumper, or even alongside him down the back stretch, you might have a chance to win this race. And Philip Brewer's job to get the best jump he can. If he could get a better run into turn 1, maybe fake inside, throw the 48 offline as the green has been delayed, because I think not Ed Robertson. I did that for the 2nd week in a row. Ben Laughter stopped because he blew up and it delayed the green. So everyone will have another lap to think about what they want to do in this restart. Even Elliott Butler in 4th. What can he do with his 4 tires? We know Joshua Banks is not going to be able to do much because he's got 2 tires. He's just hanging on.
An extension still on green-white checker number 1. And Laughter out of the race. Noah Mahalski, Bryce Shoemaker damage 8 laps down. Brian Chambliss, Austin Belkey, John Sanu, early exit, did not have the connection.
It's not a race of attrition for 130 laps.
Yeah.
And now you got only maybe 15 clean cars.
I was starting to wonder to myself, this is the last race of the regular season. This is really quiet. Everybody's pretty content with where they're at. No, here we are.
We've had it. We had our fair share of green races the last month and a half or so. Obviously, Sonoma is supposed to go green. And even the past month, you've only had maybe 1 or 2 yellows. Auto Club had some yellows, but Atlanta had 1 yellow. Nashville did not have any yellows at that race as well. Only 2 yellows at Charlotte, the 200 lapper. Not the case here, but Adam Cabot's going to be all over that right side door of the 48 on this restart. You can bet on that.
His car out of the way. Green-white checkered attempt number 1. Final race of the regular season. Jeff Wright gets a great restart. He might clear. I think he will. Into turn 1. 44 Brewer gets to the inside of Cabot. Here we go.
That's really all Jeff Wright needed. Just get clear of them, let them go side by side for 2nd, and just pull away.
It's not over yet, but the 44 does need to clear.
17's got to run.
In the field.
48 gave him the top side.
It'll be the white flag this time by.
Just did not get a run off of 4. White flag.
One more time around, 1.5 miles to go from Chicagoland in the regular season. Jeff Wright, the dominant car, all race long. Philip Brewer falls back to third with this late race caution. It looks like Adam Cabot might hold on for second position. Does Brewer have anything for him? A big run out of 2. Will dive to the inside. A sin to the bottom. A slide job off the corner. It's enough for second, but it's not enough for the win. Jeff Wright finds a way again at Chicagoland.
That was an incredible pass by Brewer. Just sent it to the bottom and it stuck. I can't believe he held that. Had a little incident at the back. Matt Shadowski, Chuck Sweeting got into it, but once again, green-white checkers, doesn't matter. 48 dominates, able to hang on yet again. Win number 6 on the season.
And everybody congratulating Jeff Wright. To wrap up this regular season, it will be his 6th win. And boy, did he need it. After last week at Richmond, the connection issues, the computer problems, whatever the case may have been, he had a great race at Sonoma. Needed Chicagoland to go his way. And the reset in the points will commence for the top 14. Burning it down here on the front stretch.
Credit deserved it. Can't take it away from him in any way. Some good finishes for some drivers that needed it. Lakatos gets 8th. Hronis got 10th. Reggie Ortega got a top 10 out of that too.
Post-race interviews with your top 3. Those final race results. Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors. Post-race coverage coming up right after this. You're watching VSPEED.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
Too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time when Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
Juicy Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA. the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
Welcome back to our post-race coverage of the Saturday Night Racing League. Final race of the regular season had some fireworks. Pretty much caution-free all the way through. With those final race results up on your screen, the race recap on the top, 3 cautions. All of those coming within the last 15 laps of the race. 15 lead changes, and most of those under green flag pit stops. We had 3 green flag pit stop cycles. And then that caution comes out, 15 to go. Resets this entire field. Jeff Wright still able to get it done. Philip Brewer got the spot that I think he deserved here today. Probably going to finish in second if that caution didn't come out. Adam Cabot with a top 3. We'll get a word with those drivers in just a moment's time. Elliott Butler classes his way to a top 5. Kenny Kibbe with a 5th place finish. Great job by those drivers. Elliott Butler gained a ton of positions to be up here. Seth Hatchell is going to finish in 6th spot with Joshua Banks starting 12th, finishing 7th. Casey Lakatos in 8th. Reggie Ortega with a top 10 after starting in 23rd. Will gain 14 positions. Second biggest mover. 16 spots gained for Elliott Butler, biggest mover of the race. And Angelo Ronis rounding out the top 10.
A couple of 3 guys there that you got pretty good finishes. Lakatos, Ortega, Hronis getting top 10s out of that deal. Pretty sure, for my math, Kenny Kibbe is going to be the leader in regular season points after this race as well, so good for him. Chad Kling ran up 11th after pitting after 2 tires did not work for him. Justin Ritchie was on an alternate strategy all race. He ends up 12th, 13th for J.R. Shepard. He spent all day a lap down. Finally got some yellows to go his way. He salvaged a 13th place, so I think he'll be okay with it, even though he won't be okay with the 24, but he'll be happy finished ahead of him, as we'll get to that. Stephen Davis 14th, Chris Hodges 15th, Turner ends up 16th. Another one where the 2-tire gamble just did not work. Same for Dakota Floyd in 18th. He finished behind Brandon Wallace, who gets a 17th place. Dakota Floyd there in 18th, and Sweeting ends up 19th. He will advance to the chase, even though not the race he wanted. And then Matt Shadonsky ends up 20th after he and Sweeting had a little bit of an incident coming to the line.
Then Laughter, early exit here, 4 laps down. 64 will finish in 21st. Austin Belke, 22nd. You have Bryce Shoemaker in 23rd with Brian Chambliss in 24th. Noah Mihalski, part of that big incident there that triggered the yellow after yellow. Then we have 26th spot for Max Koss. Keith Shoemaker will finish 22nd. John Sanu and Broderick Vaglavic not making the grid here tonight. But now that takes us to victory lane, where we have caught up with Jeff Wright, winner here tonight in a dominant performance, 118 laps led. That's over 2/3 of this race, but it was never a given. You had several different contestants there at the start of this race, and then it was one car in particular for the rest of it, and it never went away. That caution brought it right back. I thought it was done and sealed. Thought you had put a stamp on that envelope and mailed it in. And in a good fashion, SNR likes to make it interesting.
Yeah, interesting finish for sure. Definitely, you never want to see those late race cautions there as the leader with just a handful of laps to go. But Yeah, I don't know what happened or what brought it out, but some guys must have got tangled up and brought out the caution. And I was really surprised how many guys actually took 2 tires there. I was a little bit nervous just because, after looking at the tire wear on that final stop there, the lefts really didn't look too bad. So I didn't know how much of an advantage I'd have to be able to try to run back through them. And then I got stuck side by side there with Joshua Banks, and I was getting a little worried there, but I got really fortunate with the timing of that caution because I must have just been just a nose ahead at the time of the caution. I really didn't know if I was going to be able to clear him on the bottom there. He was really holding on good there with the 2 tires. It would have been interesting to see, but thankfully, I guess we caught a break there and were able to get the lead, and then I felt pretty comfortable and pretty good about our chances to hang on there those last few green-white checkers.
Watching back at the start of this race, it was constant dirty air. It was constant defense. Those first 20 laps or so, it was difficult to tell if you were going to have that dominant performance. Did you at any point in this race feel like, well, maybe somebody's going to get up here and take it away from me?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Philip Brewer was he was on it tonight, and he is so good at running the top of the racetrack on these 1.5 miles. I think he does it better than anybody. And so he was really making that work. And typically the way I run Chicagoland wasn't working all that well tonight. That's just kind of, running the bottom, wrapping the bottom. And that wasn't where the speed was at tonight. You really had to kind of move around a little bit. And I thought it was really strange how you had to back up the entry, kind of park it mid corner, and then drive it back down the racetrack. So kind of just had to learn that about, halfway through that first run. And I saw how well Philip was doing. And then when he was faster than me, I was trying to take his line away, give him the dirty air. Because being the leader at these, types of racetracks and then this car is such an advantage. You got to keep the lead. And he got it away from me a few times there, but thankfully I was able to, really dive it in hard on the bottom and make it stick and get the lead back. So that was fun racing back and forth with Philip Brewer. But no, I don't think tonight, I just thought we were going to run away with it, just with the unique circumstances of how the track was driving, but also just, how fast some of these other guys were. So Philip Brewer, shout out to him. He's going to win one of these races sometime. It's only a matter of time. He's really good at this thing.
Champion over in the Challenger Series. You're a 2-time champion. And when your computer is cooperating, you can get the finishes. This is the 6th win now. We wrap up the regular season on to Talladega in 2 weeks. Jeff Wright, what's your confidence level going into the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, happy to get out of Chicagoland here with a win as we get ready to go off into the chase. We're not seeded the best. I think we're going to go into the chase seeded 7th. So we'll have some work to do, but I like the momentum we got. And yeah, like you said, when the computer is working, the wheel's staying on, Bradley, I feel pretty confident, but I guess time will tell if we'll keep that up. So hopefully it does. And yeah, we'll enjoy the off week, going to Chicagoland here actually this coming weekend here. And I'm going to watch a race with a few guys meeting up there at the racetrack. So I saw Caleb Weekly in the chat there. Shout out him. I knew he couldn't race tonight. Had some hardware problems. I know how that is, so I definitely feel for him. But yeah, I feel like we got the momentum. Maybe not the best of seeding, but we'll go to the chase and we'll see what happens.
Jeff Wright, congratulations again on the 6th victory. Anybody you have in mind that helped put this entire season together so far?
Yeah, just big thanks to all of our sponsors, Team Boss with Ben Laughter, M&J Distributors there with Joshua Banks, 29 Graphics, Walk and Roll and Costumes, Juicy Spatter Studios, Clark Print Shop, FireStorm Racing. Appreciate everybody, all the financial support that they give us to allow us to put this league on. So we really couldn't do it without them. And then I'll shout out AMD. We switched to Team Red here on our computer now with a new motherboard, new chip. So so long to Intel. We'll see if we can keep the computer on with this. So we'll give them a shout out as well.
Jeff Wright, victorious at Chicagoland. Gotta say, I predicted it. I think I'm 1% right, at least, in all of these statistics. Missed last week, but I hope that we keep that 47% alive and well. We'll see you after the 4th of July. Have a great one.
Yeah, you guys too. Thank you.
And so with that, it's time to move down the rest of your podium. 2nd place finisher, I believe, Connor, you have caught up with Philip Brewer in the Grippos 44.
And I thought we were going to be talking to a first-time winner for the first half of the race there. Philip, you've been so fast over the past month or so. Probably no race better than what you had here tonight. You had your chances. You just came so close, just couldn't quite finish the deal on the 48. And then before that yellow, he drifted away. What more did you need to seal that pass and maybe scoot away from the 48 on those long runs?
Just more long run speed. I mean, I could stay with him, and then the last 5-10 laps, he would just walk away from me. I don't know. Maybe I should have tried to catch him on pit lane or something. But I mean, I gave him a couple dive bombs, but he would just pass me right back. I could not figure it out.
Couldn't quite figure it out. You were so fast, and you're really the only driver to be able to stay with him. You've been on a pretty good hot streak as of late, rolling into the chase. You end up top 5 in points, helps your seeding out for the chase. But before that, let's get to the restarts. Had some restarts, had a green-white checkered. Obviously, had some drivers on different strategies. Was there anything you felt you could have done to stay with the 48, maybe get ahead of him on restarts, or was it just being in the wrong lane?
I needed to get him on that first restart with all the 2-tire guys in front of us, but I just couldn't do it. I forget exactly what happened, but I got caught up in a lane, and then there was some bumping and banging that went on before I could finally get out of there and go chasing again.
The last 11 races, you've only had, I believe, one finish outside the top 10, 25th last week. But before that, your last finish outside the top 10 was back in Martinsville, and that was at the end of March. You're on a hot streak. You get to the top 5 in points, and you're going to be seated pretty nicely with a chance to chase a championship. We have an off week, then we go some different tracks. What are you excited about as far as the chase, as far as tracks, and what do you think your chances are getting a title?
Well, I don't think I'm going to have a title run because I think I'm going to miss Talladega. But I'm super excited for Homestead. That's always been my track. I've always been super fast there, but can't quite win there. And I think it'd be a perfect track for me to get my first win of the Cup Series.
I think me and Bradley are kind of it's not if, but when, I think, with us at this point. And if you're going to miss any race in a chase, Talladega is not a bad one to miss. So I won't count you out quite yet because we know it can happen there. But another great run for you. Almost got him there. Got that 1-lap lead. And great pass at the end there. I guess another quick question about that. I personally didn't think it was going to stick into 3, but you made it stick.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a few times I did that move and it just stuck. I figured, screw it. It's last lap, and I just throw it in there. And I was kind of surprised I was able to clear him on exit, but sometimes it just works out.
Sometimes you got to send it. Worked out there. Got you that runner-up finish that you rightly deserved for sure. But thanks for talking to us, Philip. Anyone else you want to thank or shout out this season?
Shout out to all my FireStorm teammates. Thanks to you guys. You're always great up in the booth. I like rewatching the races. Thanks to Bradley for this Grippo scheme. And thanks to Jeff and Adam and all the other guys. It's fun racing with them tonight.
So it's going to chastise you for not thanking Bradley for the scheme, but you did, so you're off the hook. So we're all good there. So got 1-2 for Bradley. Yeah, got 1-2 finish for Bradley's paid scheme, but could have been a win, but still a great run, Philip. Thanks for talking to us. We'll see you, I guess, in 3 weeks when we get to Miami.
Yep, I'll see you.
See you there. He did get the thank you. So yeah. I was about to talk about that, but he got to you.
It's been on the car for a while. He's been running it for quite some time. And on top of that, there's so many talented painters out here. I know Bryce Shoemaker's very good at what he does. There's, of course, 29 Graphics who painted a lot of these cars. You have Harpoon Design was part of this league at one point and painted a lot of the cars out on this racetrack. So there's a lot of guys out here that run different schemes. It's just cool to see some of the work that you do come out here on the broadcast. And we'll always plug, and I'm not in a competition for any of these guys, but it is cool to see. I'm just going to go ahead and boast that my guys finished 1-2 tonight. And unfortunately, the 57 Dakota Floyd wasn't running one of my schemes this week, but I'm sure we can hook him up sometime, anytime. And we'll move on to Adam Cabot. Yeah, that's Adam Cabot. I gotta say, the way this race started to the way this race finished, it was back and forth. It looked really, really good in the first 20 laps. It looked really, really good in the last 15. You put yourself in a great situation. But man, you were hanging it all out there on pit road entry. I gotta say, that was the craziest I've ever seen at Chicagoland.
Yeah, I don't really have to add anything to that. That you just summed up everything I was going to say. No. So yeah, what I'll give you a little inside info here. I did not want my pit road entries to be that interesting or exciting, but I had the brake bias as far as the knob would go, which is not far enough in this car, is what I learned tonight with how tight this setup was. And you can only get the knob in the race so high for pit road entry. So basically, I had a brake bias that I was trying to use to help me in the race, but absolutely made pit road entry almost impossible. And yeah, that last one for sure. I did not think I was. I haven't seen the replay on it, but I did not think I was going to actually make it, and somehow I did. But yeah, I mean, I guess to cut to the chase, I feel like right now at this point, this is about all I can expect in this car. I feel like that's kind of my ceiling. Like Jeff is just on another level, and then usually have someone like the 44 Brewer. You have guys who are on it certain weeks and put together really good runs. I don't have the long run pace that Jeff has in this car, that's for sure. So it just makes it very difficult to beat him. But yeah, maybe at some point. But I'm just I was talking with Jeff. We're kind of I'm kind of the expert right now, I feel like, in the next gen, and he's the expert in the Xfinity car, and they just require such different driving styles that we're both capable of driving the other car, but to get that last like couple percent you need to win one of these races with this level of competition, like that's the part it's really, really hard to be that good at both. So props to him. I mean, it's kind of like being behind the SVG of ovals right now, because he's kind of just messing with you when you're running behind him in second. Like he's running exactly as hard as he needs to and not 1% harder. And the second you think you're building a run on him, he all of a sudden just cranks the knob, turns it up to 100 and just leaves you in the dust. So it's pretty impressive what he's able to do in this car. But yeah, the beginning of the race was fun. Just being able to I don't know. It was weird. I just was able to drive by like literally everyone in like 7 laps.
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah, and then I thought I would really pay the price on tire. I'm like, surely I must be doing something. Like everyone must be really saving tires or something. But I mean that run, I up until the very end, like I did fall off at the end there, but like I hung with Jeff for a while there. So I didn't really feel like I paid the price as much as I was expecting to, but yeah, it kind of just felt like the only time you could pass is when the track was completely green. You could kind of go wherever you needed to go to build a run. And it just, especially towards the end with like the green, white checkers, like it was nice to at least have a shot at Jeff, but I knew it wasn't like a real shot. Like I knew there was no way, unless something crazy happened, that he was in clean air with fresh tires going to somehow let me get by him. But yeah, it was, in the end, I feel like I finished exactly where I should have. Brewer just drove by me like I was standing still in 3 and 4 in the last lap. I'm not really sure what I did wrong there, but yeah. So it all, I guess, kind of just all the strategies, 2 tires, 4 tires, position shuffling, Rex ended up being the top 3 in the same positions as it would have if we ended this thing about 20 minutes earlier, I guess.
Well, Adam, we go on to the postseason. I know you came into this race having had a limited schedule, came in 20th, needed a lot of things to go your way. I think mathematically just not going to be possible. Had you made the whole season, definite possibility that you've been up here for this chase format. But what's the likelihood we see you at Talladega, Homestead, Michigan, Bristol, Kansas, any of those tracks coming up?
I have a pretty jam-packed summer. My guess is I'll probably make about like half of the schedule that's left. That would be probably best case scenario. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Maybe I can finally win one of these, but their wins are getting hard to come by in this league.
Well, there is a concrete racetrack in August. I'll be there for it. Be the first.
What racetrack would that be? We already been to both of them, haven't we? Or is it Dover?
I think it's Bristol, sir.
Oh, we ran Dover.
Yeah,
I think it was a Dover day that I tried to forget.
Yeah, that was, and I think I called you out for it, actually.
You did, actually, yes.
That was not a good week for me, but...
if I don't remember a race, it's usually for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't remember last Monday already, if that helps you.
Temporary memory loss. That's what we have, is temporary memory loss. But we got a lot of schedule coming up, a lot of postseason. Adam, anybody you want to shout out here while we have you in the booth?
Yeah, shout out to Jeff. He's just killing it right now, and I hope at some point I can just beat him on speed, but right now he's just he's on fire. So he's the man.
There you go. Adam Cabot, third place finish to finish out the regular season. We'll see you in the likelihood of Bristol, Homestead, maybe even go up there and mix it up. Bailey Turner could get a win at Talladega. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Let's
down,
not
hopefully.
push it.
Yeah, that's what you absolutely have to do is push it. That's your job.
That is true.
All right.
That's what he'll tell me.
We'll see you then.
All right. See you guys. Thanks.
So there you have it for the post race coverage and now into the postseason. What a finish to this race. I mean, you go through what we think is going to happen. It ends up happening anyway. I think we got the results that maybe a few drivers, with the exception of, Elliott Butler gaining 16 spots and Reggie Ortega up there in the top 10. I think this race cycled out to the way it would have anyway, even with the two-tire calls and all the strategy and the late race caution.
It is kind of surprising how tight everyone said the track and the car was. Two tires was the exact opposite. No one had grip. I thought that was going to be a good call for all four of those guys, and I thought Turner or Banks would win the race. It had no speed, no way they could hold on, and the guys who deserved to finish 1, 2, 3 pretty much finished 1, 2, 3. So like you said, it cycled out to what it was going to be, and with some drivers not racing tonight, some drivers getting good finishes tonight, the seeding was important. You get bonus points if you finish first in the points, second or third. Kenny Kibbe's going to have the lead of the points in 2 weeks' time when we get to Talladega. But that's the problem right there. We get to Talladega to start the chase. Everything you worked for could be over in an instant because of how Talladega is week in season in, season out. So we'll just have to see what happens there. But Kenny Kibbe's been one of the most consistent drivers, and he showed it tonight. He got a solid finish. Turner, Stravato, Hatchell, Brewer are the top 5 in points. Jeff Wright will be seated 7th. He's got to still be the favorite with 6 wins, but it's just a matter of getting those finishes has been the issue this season. But he'll only have 5 races to win his 3rd Saturday Night Racing League Championship. But once again, it starts at Talladega in 2 weeks. It is going to be tough to get a good finish there for all these guys.
Just like the season opener, the postseason opener is going to start at a super speedway. It could be a toss-up. Anybody could write their season here. I did it again. Every time I say it, Jeff Wright could find his way from 7th seed to the top spot. We'll have to tune in on July 11th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to do it for us here in the broadcast booth, though. If you did enjoy tonight's broadcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You'll never miss a single race. We have flag-to-flag coverage all season long. Special shout-out for all of the regular season to Walking in Ropeland Costumes. M&J Distributors for sponsoring the entire league. You have 29 Graphics. We also had Team Boss there at Charlotte Motor Speedway. A lot of different sponsors here with Clark Print Shop and everyone in between. For Adam Baker, Morgan Cook, Eddie Smith, Logan Threlkeld, and for Connor Horn, great co-host all season long, this is Bradley Cooper saying so long. Congratulations again to Jeff Wright on his 6th win of the season. A great showing from Philip Brewer, Adam Cabot getting a top 3, and Kenny Kibbe taking over the points lead. It's going to be a good one for season number 6. Stay tracking, everybody.